Hi guys. So I know I talked a little bit earlier about 4Ether, who I am and what I do, but I am Nia Auset. I am a Baltimorean psychic slash shaman slash healer in Maryland and Baltimore. I go by Kween Nia Auset, and I have been doing 4Ether for a little bit now, probably a few months. On the Instagram platform. If you do not already follow me on Instagram, follow me at underscore the blue dragonfly. And I'll make sure I put that under there as well as my Hina Blue. That is completely at your discretion. In the meantime, I am building my platform here on YouTube, where you guys are much harsher. You don't give a little bit more of a fuck. And I'm going to be a little bit more of a bitch. That's all it's going to be. That's all it's going to be. But as much as I love what I do and my gift, I am very much so guided, directed by the Orisa, by the Nana Sum. And I see a lot of people undisclosed on on Instagram, what is this? YouTube, right? So it's important for me to disclose right away that I am a daughter of Yahweh, that I am a bride and child of Yeshua, that I am very much so, thank you, Spirit, for that. The strength card, guys, if you know anything about strength, right? Anything about tarot, then you know that is that praying woman. I am a prayer warrior, and I'm so happy to be welcome on your platform by other beautiful tarot readers and other beautiful healers, shamans, psychics as such, farmers, indigenous endurers, those who look like me, feel like me, those who are lighter than me, a little bit more chocolate than me, but you know who you are and you dig that, right? You know you're not a fool to the system. You're not a goyon to who wants to use you, right? And I think that if you can vibe with me in honesty and purity, then we can get along, right? So, I am 4Ether as a channel. It's all about for etheric love. It's all about that etheric, forever, unconditional love, and more so about sovereignty and peace. Sovereignty, peace, love of my culture, right? But in my process, you'll see that from sovereignty to peace to love, everything is connected, right? And we know that by the Netaru. We know that by the Nanasum. We know that by the universe. We know that by our Elohim. We know that by our eye sockets and our eyeballs and our pupils, right? We know that by our crown and our crown, and we know that by our brow. We know that by being engaged with one another, that we are all one. And so naturally, from finance, entrepreneurship, we found ourselves right on the same journey that many of our frequencies have synchronized to, and that is the twin flame, divine ascension soulmate journey, right? Because my hands are in so many different pots, because I am a high priestess in retrospect, right? Spiritual high priestess, right? I dive, and what I've been exploring and what I've been experiencing throughout my own journey was one to connect me. Asheo 8x8 is what just fell out. People walking away from the anxiety, frustrations, and fears. And I asked myself, how did we get here? How did we get to the point where our divine energies are all synchronized? We're all kind of either in separation or just getting into our unions. How are we all living the same exact life? Different scenarios, but Spirit made it so beautiful that we get to do it together. So I said, let me jump on in here and put my input in and help my sisters and brothers with what I am able to add to this beautiful journey that we are all on, called the soul ascension journey to one another, and i.e. the twin flame union. I love to talk about Write of Fortunes and who we are and our Cashapp records, our birth charts and things like that. And I love to get into small forms of numerology, but you won't see me or hear me talking too much about the numerological aspects of it because I haven't studied it, right? I do have an astrological background, but I am also not an expert at that. But you got to check out my super ultraviolet. Follow her on Instagram. You got to check out some of my sisters, Nova Soul back in my city, that you know that my Raj of POX, right? And so many, my sister Jupiter Aura, right, in Baltimore, right? Follow these people because they are tarotists, astrologists, numerologists, herbalists. My sister Nova Soul, my brother Gabe, and Clear Conscience, who we all have our own little areas of expertise, but I like to dive into mine, if I may. Thank you so much. You will hear that so much, it'll annoy you first, and then you'll get used to it, right? Spirit has allowed me to show myself, and I take pride in that. So I'm very comfortable with my body, with my forms of expression, and I am a Gemini sun, I am a Libra rising, I am an Aries moon. So I'm welcoming you to know me, but I am not welcoming myself to be picked apart. So like I said, if you don't get too invested in me if you think that I won't cuss you the fuck out, okay? Just it's very important that I get that message out there, because YouTube is just like a lot more people, right? I'm on Instagram, I might get 70, 80 views at the most, right? I don't give a fuck where you hail from. I will cuss you the fuck out. And I'm starting there, right? Right? All of us are. We have a starting point. Forgive me, because my grace and my Wing Chun work together. I shall. My trigger finger, you know, might pump for Jesus, Yeshua, right? But it also pumps, you know. So, all right. I don't know if you follow the twin flame journey with anyone else, but for my beginners, for my lovely beginners on this journey, those who are newly awakened to the idea that there's a such thing as a twin flame, right? We've been doing this the soulmate thing for so long. We didn't know there was such thing as greater ascension journeys. We didn't understand that there were such connections that tie us and overwhelm us when we come into union, dives into past lives and integrates and venerates into these now lifetimes and belong to us, right? But it makes us feel so great, because that means that something bigger than us loves us ever so much. What they say, for God so loved the world, right? For he loved us so much, they loved us so much, she loved us so much, I shall, that we get to do this and we get to do it together, and I get to break it down in my own way what that type of journey is. And so for a lot of us, we have been light workers in ascension, and I do believe that many of the people on the soul journey are light workers to a degree, regardless of if you heal yourself or heal others. You are definitely a light loving sentient energy, right? A divine being. No matter who you pray to, you are praying. No matter what you put your faith in, you do put your faith in something greater than you, and you allow it to help move you throughout life, right? Well, with that, in my faith, I believe that Spirit sends earth angels, fairies, gnomes, archangels, ancestors. I believe that there's so many different teams working for us. And I've noticed that the healers have one of the best teams. We have a half a soul walking around, right? We have someone that is half of us. What a relief. Right, as we've walked through our journey, some of us going through so many different traumas. I take personal clients in my city and outside of my city, and I learn different people's stories. That's one of the best things about the work that I do. And it's amazing how many stories how many of us mirror one another, right? And we realize that we've been walking this earth with a half of us just waiting for us, right? And we've always said that. We've always, I guess, had these ideas that one true love, and all these movies are inspired by that theme, right? But this twin flame journey is the bee's knees. It's the definition of that one true love, that half of self, that sharing soul, right? That you can merge with in this lifetime, right? That a lot of us will be merging with in this lifetime. That's why we're all getting so much information about this journey, right? A lot of our divine masculines, and we consider the divine masculines, I consider divine masculines, from my understanding from the spiritual breakdown, those that allow spirit to guide them. You might be a doctor, a lawyer, or a herbalist, a musician, right? But you are divine because you understand the powers that be bigger than you by the power of 3x3, I shall, right? You know who you are, and you embrace a peaceful and graceful approach. You attract and manifest to yourself by being a good person in this world. And the divine masculines have been brutally traumatized, like the divine feminines, and for many reasons throughout relationships, throughout family trauma, throughout life, have been detached and disassociated from their divine one way or another, right? Usually before we even come into this incarnation, right, we decide to separate for whatever reasons. And the divine feminines sometimes, in many cases, come to their fruition before the divine masculine does. And that's why we have a group of the awakened, right? And usually the divine feminine is like frustrated, is what I'm seeing, and waiting. And if she's not frustrated and waiting, then she's learning to embrace peace and independence, and exploring her gifts. And the divine masculine is learning to manage his money, his finances, and learning how to untie themselves from karmic patterns, right? And this from what I've experienced from most of my clients and even from my own journey, I've noticed that we're all pretty much in the same place. I come to give updates of light and love for all divine feminine, divine masculines, and even karmics, right? That idea of someone who is a divine masculine, divine feminine in their own right, but maybe just trapped, entangled, carrying out karmic deeds, binded by false realities, binded by old, let's get into it a little bit, old ritual, old root working, old family bloodline traumas and things like that, that cause them to be disaligned, and maybe not even able to understand that enough to make changes that will be impactful enough to get on the journey in this lifetime. But we welcome karmics as well, because I've learned that the greater that be wouldn't even have you aligned with me if you didn't belong here, right? So today's energy I'm reading on for the divine masculine, it seems. We have a lot of prayer going out to the divine masculines. A lot of our divine feminines are awakened warriors. So you hear me? Fighting for our divine masculines, right? Spirit at one point told us to hold back, and I'm getting that now. We done stepped into Scorpio season with a whole new vibe. Like, Spirit, I got back for that moment. But now I'm going to go check on what's going on. He's taking too long, right? So our divine masculines are taking too long. And what happens is nothing but a little bit of inner strength rising up out of them, because they're confronting all of the things that have kind of kept them stuck and reclused, right? Stagnated, frustrated. They're trying to figure it out, and believe me, divine feminines, a lot of our masculines are there, developing plans, all for who? This beautiful empress of theirs, right? The divine, I'm going to use another deck. I love this deck, but this is literally one of my most novice decks. But the divine feminine, divine masculine mirror each other in one single thing, and it's that they are thinking of each other, manifesting on each other, pulling on each other at all times. You guys are telepathically communicating so well. Spirit is impressed. You know, for some of us who didn't even believe in a lot of things, we've opened each other up and channeled each other in ways that is unbelievable, and it just goes to show you the strength and depth of these journeys that we're on. Whether you've been in your twin flames life for a year, 2 years, whether you've been in and out of your twin flame life, so you put all that time together, doesn't even equal a month. This person has shaped more of your realities than some of the people who've been in your life forever. Never made you think any differently. I share all. And guess what? I love when we have this, some divine confirmation, right? So we see strength coming in. We are praying warriors over our masculines. For Spirit is saying, for a lot of us, we see this infinity sign here at the top of this loving empress who's calming this bestial nature of our divine masculines, even with us not being there, and vice versa for those who are on the opposite end of the journey, where the divine masculines may be working with his divine feminine to tame some of those addictive personality traits, traumas, and things like that, right? Spirit is saying that we are coming into a space of being able to walk away, recognize triggers, and identify where we can become more abundant. And as we do that, Asheo, we are starting to put an end, right? Death. Put an end to situations that no longer serve us. Spirit is saying be patient though, because for a lot of the masculines, it's more financial than it is anything. It is more financial. It is more, and not even just money, right? We're not thinking financial stability, right? I'm thinking overall stability. I'm thinking this has to do with equity, businesses, right? Investments, loans. Our masculines could be married to the divine feminine, to the karmics. Some of our masculines, if not married, maybe in business with some of our some of these karmic partners. And if not in business, they have children with them, okay? It is not as simple as untying their assets, untying their union, right? But they're very much so offering and wanting and praying on this committal energy, the Hierophant marriage, or some type of strong commitment with the divine feminine. They want to move forward to that. And as we see this King of Pentacles coming in upside down, we know that maybe he's working on his stability and his wealth and his abundance, because it may be leaving him or fleeting him as he's jumped on this journey maybe a little bit faster than he thought he would, and started to piss off that karmic, right? So as the karmic steals, cheats, deceives, and does everything karmic like energies usually do to get what they want out of this. Sorry, just going to call it some Palo, because whenever I call in this karmic energy, it gets really weird. I shall. Welcome in the Palo. I shall see. Okay. So, like I was saying, this King of Pentacles came in upside down this way, but I did do a clarity reading on another deck, and look, you guys are coming up as a divine counterpart. That King of Pentacles and that Queen of Pentacles with a little special message, right? Our divines have such potential, right? Because we have such big purposes together. In our separation, we are separated, definitely, Three of Wands. But I'm seeing the Nine of Pentacles. We are becoming more powerful, more independent, more prepared to take on life, you know, without our divines, even though we don't have to, right? Our divine masculines are teaching us one thing, ladies, and gentlemen, for those in same-sex relationships and as such. They are teaching us one main important thing, and that's how to love with the spirit of detachment, unconditionality. No matter if you can be with your person right now or not, if you can't see or touch this person for a year, for a decade, don't you want to know the love is still the same? That is the definition of unconditionality, right? That this masculine, this feminine can do anything, and you're still ready to forgive. Your grace is already activated. You don't even got to get yourself ready for it. If this masculine just calls you, you light up, right? Spirit knows that, and this masculine is absolutely mirroring you in that same sense. The King of Cups. Absolutely in love, absolutely intuitive about this love, right? Absolutely wanting to make progress towards this love. And for clarity on that as well, we have that Eight of Wands, wanting to come in and make progress, move forward towards you quickly, cast those love arrows down, right? They really, really want to come towards you, but right now they have to stand their ground. They have to take a short journey towards abundance, towards redemption, towards liberation. And we pray that over our divine masculines, right? Because we know this progress is coming towards the what? Oh, that divine counterpart, right? That Two of Cups, that overfilling, reciprocal, loving relationship that can only come from two souls meshed together by God Himself, by Allah, by Amun-Ra, by our mothers, our maiden ladies, by the goddesses and the gods of the shall I say it, universe, of this here Gaia. They're protecting us. This is the Sun card. The Sun represents abundance in every way. Marriage, stability. Oh, Lord, this is stability, right? Right? The Ten of Pentacles with the Sun, the Chariot, the King of Cups. This masculine doesn't just want to come and give you himself. He wants to come and give you everything you've ever dreamed of, divine feminine. And it's a very beautiful thing because we deserve it. Hierophant, clarified by that Hierophant, right? Absolute commitment, absolute love. And a lot of these masculines are also leaving these same types of commitments, okay? They've been very loyal, okay? And I'm focusing on the strengths of this understanding. A lot of our divine feminines can benefit from being more gracious, right? Yes, Empress. Inspire and encourage yourself throughout this journey as often as you can with remembering that you are innately, you possess the authority. It's your birthright as a woman to be gracious, to be ever present, to be overwhelmingly beautiful, overwhelmingly vibrant, overwhelmingly. Don't let nobody silence that beauty that shines within you, divine feminine. I just seen 808, right? You are abundant in it, right? You are absolutely abundant in wealth, love, and in graciousness, right? Show that to the divine masculine, because what I'm getting is a lot of divine masculines have never actually experienced that type of unconditional love. The divine masculines, the divine feminines as well, we mirror each other in the sense that we haven't all had beautiful childhoods. We didn't all come up in the most positive situations, and we don't all rule or come from high society. We don't all get to come together, I guess, with no, I don't think any of us actually get to come together without any type of confusion. That's a part of this journey. It's actually one of the hardest journeys you'll ever go into in your life, but it's the most rewarding, right? Because we fight for everything in this world. We fight about sports. We fight about politics. We're fighting about every black, white, purple, and green. We fight about who everybody else is sleeping with, LGBT, and we make names for shit to fight about. We don't actually have shit to fight about, but we find shit to fight about. That's my point. So why not fight for something worth it? Fight for our children. Fight for love, right? Fight for sovereignty of everybody, sovereign identities, authenticity. Fight to end the war on individuality, end the war on sexuality, end the war on feminism, masculinity. Yeah, because it's a war on masculinity right now too. I know a lot of feminists will not speak on it, but it is a war on it. End the war on war. right? And fight for something worth fighting for, like the loves of your life. At this point, I will acknowledge that there are a lot of fears, right? There are a lot of heavy burdens, a lot of confusion, but it is worth it. It is worth it if you're willing to put it in. Absolutely worth it. Spirit, if you can give me any more short messages for our short snippet into Spirit, I love, love, love you all. I'm so thankful for the opportunity to come to you on YouTube. This is my first of many videos. Thank you so much to the ancestors, to the Nanasum, to the Rhodesia. Thank you so much to the maiden mothers. Babas, thank you to Yeshua. Thank you to you, Yahweh. Asheo. Last messages from my tribe, for my family, for the team. Asheo. Oh. Y'all nasty. Y'all gonna make this the last messages? We're gonna call this a divine masculine channeling because the divine masculines are doing a lot of talking, okay? So, for the divine feminist messages for you. No matter how hard it gets, no matter how much you go through, your divine masculine wants you to know that he is thinking about what that throat do. Yes, Lord. No matter how hard it get, no matter what you, Lord, he think about what that throat do. That's all I'm going to tell you. That's all I'm going to say. King of Wands, sis. You didn't put it down on that man. You the real magician. Yeah, we'll get into these karmics one day and all this black magic that I see and all that other stuff. We gonna get into it, but they say, baby, you the real magician. Everything else we find out, all the frustrations and the confusion that they're trying to will into our lives, all of the confusion, all of the stress, baby, don't worry about it. Look, 4 cups. Ain't nothing there. I ain't paying no attention to it. I ain't even looking at it, baby. You is you. That's what divine masculine saying. All I can think about is what that mouth do. And it makes me absolutely fall in love with you. Ashe, y'all. King of Cups. So, divine feminine. Stay in your power. Stay in your peace, sister to sister. You know who you are. You know what you do. You know that you are absolutely vibrant, radiant, and gorgeous. Divine masculine. Stay in your power, king. You know who you are. You know what you do, and you know how you do it. You know can't nobody do it like you do it, masculines. So do it like you do it and do it well, okay? It's the East Coast thing. I will see you guys very soon on 4Ether with the Blue Dragonfly, otherwise known as Nia Auset. Oh yeah, and if you guys come to my city, you better come and book me. You better figure out who I am. Follow me on social media. I'm going to drop links. You're going to know all about me. This is just my first video. And some of you ain't even going to like me, but you're going to like me by my 4th one. So don't watch the first 3 because I'm really ratchet. I ain't going to lie to you. And I'm an acquired taste, okay? So if it don't taste good right now, it's okay. Get it out your head. Come back like on my more spiritual videos, you know. Oh, baby. Yeah. I shall. Mwah.